Who doesn't love to create their own character in games? It doesn't matter if you're like me and prefer to create a character who looks nothing like you, or if you want it to be as similar to yourself as possible. Since we love to create our own characters in other games, we of course wanted a character creator in Mistwinter Bay. Since the game has a heavy focus on making your own choices, it would have felt wrong to force players to play as a specific character or to only choose the character's visual appearance from a bunch of presets. So, we opted to give the player the ability to create their own character from scratch. That has been a long journey so far and it's not done yet. But I thought we could take a look at how the process of creating the character creator has been, where we are now and what we expect to do with it in the future. Mistwinter Bay has had different iterations of a character creator. It started out with this hideous mock-up that still showed the general concept. Different body types, faces, skin tones, outfits, hairstyles, hair colors, and so on. I think this first version had 4 or 6 different body types. The next version had only 2 body types, and that's still the case in the game's demo. But this version added more options for outfits, hair, and faces. I guess I don't have to mention that the art style is a bit more proper too. Then, not long before we released the demo on itch.io, we decided to add animated mouths. Up until that point, only the eyes had been animated in conversations, and the mouths stayed static no matter if the character was talking or not. That's because mouths and eyes were part of the same sprite, and animating blinking and talking in one sprite was not really gonna work out. But we thought that not having talking animations looked pretty weird, rightfully so, and we decided to animate the mouths as well. Since we wanted both eyes and mouths to be animated separately, we split the eyes and mouths into different sprites, which gave me the headache of having to export all the facial features again. And also importing them into the game engine took a while for my brother too. It took between 10 and 15 minutes per face. But that decision made it possible to provide more options for the player in the character creator. Now, the player didn't have to pick one specific face, complete with eyes and mouth, but could choose them separately. We also added a wardrobe background to the character create menu since it felt a bit weird to create your character in the throne room. Besides adding a few more clothes and accessories, we haven't really made any changes to the character creator since then. That is, until now. And it's been a pretty major overhaul at that. It was basically 2 things that led us to update the character creator. The first is something that both we and people who have played the demo have thought about. The fact that it isn't possible to make any sort of typically masculine character in terms of body shape and face. The 2 body types that are in the demo are labeled by us as male and female, but both of them still have a fairly feminine look. So we wanted to add the ability for players, including ourselves, to create a much more typically masculine character. In doing so, we would actually go back to the first prototype version of the character creator in terms of body type options. The second reason we wanted to update the character creator was because of the skin tones. We want all types of people to be able to create characters that can resemble themselves at least a little bit, and that's why we have 7 different skin tones to choose from. However, the eyes and mouth that were in the demo version and earlier ones didn't really look good on deeper skin tones. By that I mean that the eyelids and lips were too light, and all of that leads us to the changes we made. Now, there are a total of 4 body types, 2 skinnier ones and 2 more muscular ones. We've also added a new face shape to give a more angular looking face. There's also a new set of eyes and mouth to give the ability to create more masculine looking characters. Much like we did before the demo release, we've split sprites to create more options. Now, eyes are separate from eyelids, which means the player can decide the color of their eyeshadow. There are a total of 11 colors to choose from now, so you're bound to find something you like. The same goes for the lips, which also have 11 shades. This means that there are shades that look natural, that is, it looks like you don't have any makeup, for each skin tone. It's also possible to give your characters a bit of a fun flair by putting an unnatural color on lips and eyelids. This also meant that I had to re-export everything for a 3rd time. It was a lot of work, but it was definitely a good improvement. These options are all available in the full games version of the character creator. Later in the game, you'll be able to change the eyeshadow and lip color in the wardrobe menu. But like in the demo, the body shape, skin tone, eye shape, mouth shape, and hair color can't be changed outside of the character creator at the start of the game, because logically, that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense in a medieval setting. We've also made some minor changes to the UI in both the character creator and wardrobe menu. It was mostly just moving things around and changing the color of some things. But we also added small messages that indicate that you have or haven't done something that you might want to do. In the character creator, that is to name your character in order to proceed. In the wardrobe menu, it is to see that you made changes to your character that haven't been saved yet. That's the work we've done so far. But what can we expect to do with the character creator in the future? Our main focus for the character creator is to add more outfits, hairstyles, accessories, and maybe even some more hair color options if we're ambitious enough. We'll probably add a few more face options too, but no more body types. Some of the outfits will be unlockable, which means that you gain access to them by doing certain things in the game, like getting married for example. The locked and unlocked outfit mechanic is already implemented, but we're going to add on to it with more outfits later. We're probably going to have to add some sort of randomized character and randomized name features too, since we know not everyone likes to spend a long time creating the perfect character. But that's all for the future. Our main focus moving forward will still be to implement all the townsfolk and everything that entails. This update to the character creator was just a side mission we did to spare our brains from all the thinking required for writing characters. If you want to experience the glory of the new character creator in the full game one day, I suggest you wishlist Mistwinter Bay on Steam. There you can also play the demo for free and try the much more bare bones version of the character creator. The demo is on itch.io too. And if you want more exclusive content about the game, you can join our Patreon. Long-time supporters will get the opportunity to design accessories, hair, or even clothes that we will add to the character creator. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.